This is the story of the death of Evan Hartley, a quiet man living in the small town of Briar Ridge, whose case became one of the most baffling, logic-defying investigations in the region's history. A case where the clues didn't contradict each other. They contradicted reality. And to this day, detectives still whisper the same sentence whenever his name comes up. Nothing about this crime scene makes sense. January 14th, 2019. 6:42 a.m. A jogger passing through Willow Lane noticed something wrong. The front door of number 43 was wide open, swaying gently in the cold morning wind. He knocked, called out, stepped inside, and what he saw made him stumble backward. There, lying in the middle of the living room floor, was Evan Hartley, flat on his back, eyes open as if frozen mid-thought. But the rest of the room was far from peaceful. 12 lamps, every lamp in the house, had been pulled from various rooms and arranged in a perfect circle around the body. Perfect spacing. Perfect angles. Not a single cord tangled. The bulbs were all missing. And the breaker box had been switched off. There was no light in the house. No power. Just the cold, early morning silence. When police arrived, the scene confused them immediately. There was no forced entry. No sign of struggle. No wounds on Evan. No blood. No toxins detected. No fingerprints anywhere, not even Evan's except on 2 items. The refrigerator and the bathroom faucet. Every other surface had been wiped clean. It felt staged. But staged for what? And by who? Forensic techs looked under furniture, inside vents, behind walls. Nothing. No light bulbs. No prints. No DNA. The lamps were placed so precisely that investigators joked it looked like a designer ritual. But nobody laughed for long, because what came next sent a chill down every spine in that room. The last outgoing and the whisper. The whisper seemed to be recorded inside the house. But the house had no power at 2:14 a.m. To understand what happened, investigators needed to understand Evan. A quiet, introverted accountant. No criminal record. No debt. No known enemies. No history of mental illness. But when they spoke with his brother, Daniel, something came to light. Something that made the entire investigation darker. For almost a year, Evan had been terrified of the dark. Not uneasy. Not scared. Terrified. He slept with every light in the house on. Hallway lights, kitchen lights, even the garage light. He installed 3 night lights in his bedroom. He avoided driving after dusk. He started covering mirrors with towels because he swore he saw light moving behind him. When his brother asked what he meant, Evan said, "It watches from the corners, where the light doesn't reach." Daniel assumed it was stress, a breakdown, a phase. But now, looking at that bizarre lamp circle, it felt like Evan had been trying to keep something, anything, away. The real twist came when detectives reviewed Evan's financial records. Every month on the 2nd, he withdrew $500 in cash. The pattern began 8 years earlier. Always the same ATM. Always the same time of day. In total, nearly $48,000 withdrawn with no explanation for where it went. When police pulled the ATM footage, they found something disturbing. Evan wasn't alone. After every withdrawal, he stepped just outside the camera's field of view and handed the money, neatly folded, to someone standing behind a concrete pillar. Only the edge of a shadow was visible. Too tall to be Evan. Too still to be casual. Never stepped fully into frame. Not once in 8 years. Evan had been paying someone. Or something. Regularly. Religiously. But for what? 7 days after Evan's death, the Briar Ridge Police Department received a call from across town. A woman reported something strange in her garage. Police arrived, expecting kids' pranks. Instead, they found it. Another circle of lamps. Identical spacing. Identical wiring. Bulbs removed. Breaker switched off. And on her voicemail, recorded again at 2:14 a.m., was the same electrical hum. But this time, the whisper said, "Not you." She had no connection to Evan. Never met him. Never called him. Never crossed paths. Investigators realized something horrifying. Whatever had happened at Evan's home, It wasn't an isolated event. It was searching, or spreading, or choosing. When the police canvassed Evan's neighborhood again, an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Langley, finally admitted something she'd been too afraid to say. The night Evan died, she saw something through his kitchen window. She said the walls were flickering, not flickering from a lamp or candle, but as if light was trapped inside the walls, moving behind the drywall, crawling upward like veins of brightness trying to break free. She said it reminded her of a thunderstorm sealed inside the house. She didn't call it in because she thought it was an electrical problem, but the power had already been off for hours. Phone records revealed Evan received a call at 1:59 a.m. 14 minutes before his death. No number, no origin, just unknown. The call lasted 9 minutes. There was no audio, no voice, just silence. But Evan didn't hang up. When investigators checked the house's smart devices, door sensors, motion detectors, they found something chilling. At 2:11 a.m., 3 minutes before Evan's voicemail, every lamp in the house shut off simultaneously. They were unplugged. Each one by one, with surgical precision. No fingerprints, no smudges. Cords laid neatly on the floor, forming the beginning of the circle around Evan. By 2:14 a.m., the circle was complete. At 2:14 a.m., the voicemail was recorded. At 2:14 a.m., Evan died. But the medical examiner confirmed something impossible. Evan's heart stopped at exactly 2:11 a.m., 3 minutes before his own final voicemail, 3 minutes before the whisper, 3 minutes before the lamp circle was finished. Who or what completed it? Privately, off the record, one detective admitted something chilling. It felt like Evan wasn't trying to keep someone out. He was trying to keep something in. Evan's paranoia, the withdrawals, the mirrors covered, the lamps in every corner, the terror of darkness. Authorities considered the possibility of a mental break. But mental breaks don't create identical crime scenes across town. They don't erase fingerprints. They don't whisper on voicemails after the victim is already dead. And they don't cause walls to glow from the inside. Something had been tormenting Evan, feeding on him, following him. And when the lights went out, it finally reached him. The lamps were returned to Evan's family. The bulbs were never found. The shadow figure at the ATM was never identified. The second lamp circle in the garage was never explained. The mysterious hum, the 2:14 a.m. whispers, the sudden power loss, the perfect lamp circle. None of it fits any known pattern of crime, ritual, or human behavior. And today, the official report on the death of Evan Hartley sits in a locked cabinet, labeled simply, Unexplained, Open Case. The final note written by the lead investigator reads, The crime scene suggests intelligence. The evidence suggests control. The timeline suggests impossibility. But above all, the scene suggests this: whatever happened, it wasn't done in darkness.